Is it a good idea to start a business as a couple? This is a big question. I asked myself this question, and that is what we are going to look at today. Is it a good idea? Should you start a business as a couple? Hi guys, this is Irene and this is Harry Lifestyle. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am joined by my other half, my husband. Woo!
The one and only.
The one and only.
The only one who exists. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one and only.
Yes.
And thank you for joining me for this video.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good evening. From wherever you're watching us. Nice to be here on this channel.
Okay. Sawa. In this video, we are going to be talking everything to do with starting a business or starting a company together. This is something we've done for a good number of years now. Yeah, we've been working together in our company now. For a decade. No. Okay, the company was incorporated in 2012. Yes. Yeah, and then I joined you full time around 2015.
Yeah,
to work with you.
That's
so that's like about 7 years now that we've been working together.
Yes.
Yeah, and today that is what we're going to be talking about, our journey, the advantages we have found in working together as a couple, as well as what we think you need to do in your journey working together.
Yes.
I never even said your name. Yeah. So this is David Chola. Yes, karibu sana. So the first thing I wanted us to talk about is the whole issue of before you start a company together or start working together as a couple, you need to be in a good place in your marriage. Yeah,
that's true.
You cannot be at that place where you're maybe fighting or disagreeing or just you're not synced in your relationship. You're maybe going through struggles, or maybe you're just not at a good place. There's no other way to put it. Why? Because those same struggles you're having maybe in your marriage, you're going to bring them into the business. And the struggles that you'll have in the business, you're going to bring them into the marriage.
Yes.
So in case you're considering starting a business together, but you feel like you're having issues as a couple, maybe you should take time to resolve your issues, maybe go through counseling. Just work on your differences. Just start when you are at a good place, so that you have a good foundation.
Allow me to chip in on that. You see, business is in itself covenant.
Yeah, it's like another marriage.
Coming together
to
agree on doing things together.
Yeah,
to make a profit.
Yeah.
So, the very essence of that covenant is what marriage is all about.
Yeah.
Coming into covenant with one another. So if in business you don't have that level of connection and agreement, then you're not going to make it.
In marriage, if you don't have that connection and agreement.
So now, in fact, now it's even more enhanced by the fact that if you come together in marriage, two married people working together in business, if you don't have that agreement, then it's going to be so much more tougher. Yeah. But definitely, I would say that because you're in marriage, if you're in one accord, and then you come together to do business, the what I would say the advantages of doing it together, that unity, is so much more multiplied than two strangers who are coming to just do business by itself. So it's definitely that much more enhanced when you're able to do business as two people who are already in a covenant with one another,
and you're in a good place in your relationship.
Oh yes, it's a big plus. It's a big plus.
The second thing I think I wanted us to talk about is everything to do with how you incorporate your company together.
Yes.
I think it's very, very important for that to be done right, and make sure that in your incorporation that you have either equal shareholding or you agree on the shareholding, who's going to hold how many number of shares and all that. So you need to work with your lawyers when you're registering and incorporating your company to make sure that is done right. Yeah,
it's extremely sad when something that you have been working on as a couple, you build it to a certain level, but because of failure to create this kind of shared basis, if something, God forbid, something happens to one of you, and suddenly that entity that you've been building, that has been feeding your family and feeding your dreams and your vision, suddenly is torn out of the control of the other surviving party, you know.
And even God forbid, should you go your different directions, and you hadn't incorporated your company, one of you can stand to lose. The one who wasn't in those documents and all that. So for the sake of protecting each other and protecting the future of your company, it's important for the incorporation to be done well. And I think that should also apply to property that you end up owning as a company.
That's true.
The paperwork should be done in a way that both of your names are in those documents. Your bank accounts, you need to be at a place where you're able to both sign off on your bank accounts. That's true. Basically assets. Insurances, who is the next of kin, you know, life insurance, all those things that have to do with a company. You want to make sure that the paperwork is done correctly to reflect both your names and to also reflect your shareholding. Because so many companies have imploded when one party dies, and maybe that one party is the one who had the one who was signing off the money, who's they have assets that are not in the name. Accounts are frozen,
and the operations can't continue. And things, it's a very sad affair.
Or even some assets can revert back to the government if the surviving party was not in the paperwork. So the assets have reverted back to the government because the person, you can't claim because you are not in that. You are not the next of kin. They are in the sole ownership of the other party. Paperwork is so important. You need to work with your lawyers. You need to make sure that everything is just done properly.
In connection to that, it's a good idea to make sure you're married legally. lest you find other people coming to challenge for the property and the thing you've built as a couple together. And you find that because you failed to have that kind of connection in place.
Or even you just failing to have the paperwork. So many things can go wrong.
So many things.
Imagine at someone's funeral, and then there's somebody who says, I am a wife and I have kids, or I'm the side husband. We don't.
It's a sad thing. We don't
we are not there. But these things can happen, and someone is watching. So, and I know sometimes when we are doing these company incorporations, we tend to do them from a place of trust. So sometimes we think we'll revisit, we'll go back and do the paperwork nicely, or we'll go back and put the assets in the right name, and we can take for granted or take too long to do those things, and then disaster happens, and then problems come in.
So make sure the incorporation certificates for your, the directors, you're properly and legally incorporated in all the legal documents. You are an owner,
and the assets as well.
And the assets are properly spelled out.
The next thing I think you need to take into consideration very, very seriously before you set up your business together, and as you run your business together, is ensuring that you both harness your gifts and your talents kabisa, because now what ends up happening, there are several scenarios that can happen when you start a business. You can either start a business based on maybe the guy, your husband, or you can start a business based on your wife and their gifting and all that, or you can start a neutral business, that has nothing to do with any of you.
Lowest hanging fruit.
In our case, what we do is architecture, which is your specialty and what you're trained to do.
That's cool.
Now, what I'm saying is it's important for the other person to make sure and to be given space to bring in their gifts fully. I feel like that is so important, that both of you get an opportunity to bring all your gifts and use them. Because it can happen that there is an imbalance where one person is highlighted, the company is, all about them. We are building based on your giftings and based on your training. That's and then true. Now maybe myself, I feel like I'm not I'm not fully being utilized. I'm not bringing all my gifts to the table.
Yes.
And that can form an imbalance.
It can. And when that happens, the other spouse ends up feeling wasted.
Or like I'm building you. What about
something
me?
that is lacking. Their gifts are not coming to the surface and finding full expression. And when that happens, then it's imperative for the couple working together, especially the other, what I would say, the couple whose gifts have been complemented.
The person,
the individual being complemented, needs to look for opportunities to be able to bring the spouse working with them to the fore. They need to be able to look for opportunities for them to be able to bring their talents, their gifts to the table. Okay, so if look for the roles that they can work naturally within their giftings, as you probably. Whether it's training that needs to be given, whether it's just encouraging them to work with you in different spheres, it makes all the difference.
And also, I think to enhance that, it's very important for the couple to listen to each other. And there can be a situation where something is important to me, but it is not important to you. Now, I don't know, whatever it is, whether it's dress code, whatever, or how you work with people, it's important to me. I feel we should do things this way. I feel like we should invest in this. And for you, it's not important. And then you're like, no, that's not important to me. That's not priority. That brings again that imbalance. You have to listen to each other so that everyone feels their ideas and their thoughts are being taken seriously. So even if something is not important to you, but your spouse, or in this case, your business partner feels this is important, you have to make room for it. Even if for you, it's not a big deal.
You're a team. You're a team. So the whole element about being able to compromise, or you can't go at it holding such hard positions that hey, it's my way or my way. It has to work differently because now you're bringing two minds, two hearts to the table, but the two hearts are supposed to work as one to be able to build this entity called this business into something really great. And the mastermind principle is what we're talking about, where you're having two minds coming together to be able to bring the best they have. And when those two minds find that fullness of expression, you're able to come up with some really
very
wonderful ideas. I look at our journey and the progress we have made, comparing the years when I was working alone to the progress that we made ever since we started working together. There was a huge acceleration that happened when you came on board as part of the team at Adroit. And the gifts you brought to the table, the skills you brought to the table, the passion you brought to the table, all that created such a huge acceleration in the way we did our things. And suddenly tasks that probably took a certain time frame to be accomplished started to be done much faster. Things where we used to struggle in certain areas, whether it's our marketing and discussions with clients and being able to just different. There are so many fields that we need. Well, when you came on board, it really just catapulted the firm forward, and we, as a result, you can even see the financial graph changed. So it's something that any couple wanting to work together needs to take into account that yes, there is a place for your spouse in your business if you're willing to open your eyes to see it. And then also you have to be willing to say, you know what, there's the stereotypes that a husband can't work with the wife. You can't share the office together with her. You don't want her to know what you're doing from day to day, and so on. No, you have to shed those kind of stereotypes, and hey, just be open. You need to be open enough. Let her see, let him see your vulnerabilities in the office. Let him be able to work with you. Let her be able to work with you. Let us see what happens from day to day. You don't have to be working so hard in looking macho, and yet you're not being able to make things happen. So yeah.
Now, I think the last thing that you should do as a couple, not the last, but finally, the thing that you should do as a couple is also find ways to have your own individual space, your own individual time, your own individual things that you love to do.
Yes.
Because now when you work together as a couple, you're at home together all the time. You're at work together all the time. And I remember this is something that I found very concerning. I would ask my friends who've worked together with their spouses, how did it go? Are you not in each other's space too much? How then you should find ways to create your own individual things. Like, I love doing this channel. This is something I can do away from what we do together. I love doing my DIY things. I love once in a while going out there to go for a hike, to go, for runs here and there. So now we're just going to talk about the advantages that we have found in doing business together. And without, even going far. Give me one advantage that you have found.
Well, definitely working together means that you have to build a lot of trust with one another. And it transcends the realm of the heart and comes to also the realm of the mind, where, you see, business is about putting ideas and putting out a product that shall be bought by the market out there. So when you put a product together and you jointly own it, there's such a strong level of trust that has come in, that comes as a result of that, because you jointly own the product that you're putting out. And the trust element is that you can do it without feeling that you're going to be shortchanged by the other party.
Yeah, they won't steal your ideas. They won't take your ideas to the competitor.
They won't take your ideas to the competitor.
They won't steal your clients.
They won't steal your clients.
Yeah. And they won't steal your money when you're not looking.
There you go. I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah. So trust is a big issue. And it's actually something that really many companies struggle with. You're looking for employees that you can trust, who you can give your clients, delegate your work, let them deal with money issues. And now when you're working together, at least that's not an issue. You can deal with money, you can deal with clients, you can answer emails, and no one is doing any underhand dealings.
No one is trying to take the business away from you to go and use it for themselves somewhere else. As long as you're in the right frame of mind in your marriage, you're able to do these things wholeheartedly without fear.
That is something that I found I brought to you when I started working with you, is because I usually, even to this day, can answer emails as you. I can literally answer emails as you, and you're okay with that because you trust what I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
And I can talk to a client, I can go to the bank, I can deal with the finances, and you're not feeling like, hey, Appa, I don't know what is going to happen. Will my money disappear?
That's true.
That
is true.
So that's the trust. Getting to trust each other is a big advantage. Working with somebody you trust is a big advantage.
It's a big place.
Second advantage that I have found in us working together is running the home. And so let me talk even from the position of a wife. Like every time we need to do any school things, you've been called at school for a meeting, I don't need to start thinking, what will I tell my boss? Will my boss give me off? And even when it comes to issues like maybe I'm having issues with the house help, or even one of us is unwell, all that drama that comes with going to tell your boss, I can't come into work today because I have a sick child, or I don't have a house help, or I need to go to school for a school meeting. I found that working together gives us a lot of freedom to ensure that our home is running well. The days that I'm going to the market, I mean, it's okay. It's part of what we do to run our family. If I'm doing things to do with my channel and shooting and doing all these things, I have so much more freedom to pursue the things that have to do with me and have to do with our family without having the stress of going through our boss. You know, even when our kids are on holiday, we are able to take some time off and spend time with them, you know. And you know,
That's
I remember when you were employed, trying to just even you getting leave days even in December. Bosses do not want to let you go. Kwanza, your boss never wanted to let you go during the December Christmas holidays, and now you're able to run your home, synchronize your time, spend time with your children. When children are on break, we're able to take a break. You know, I really love that aspect, that flexibility where we understand, if I'm away, why am I away? If you need to be away to do something that has to do with family or something to do with home, it's not a problem.
Yes. And that advantage feeds directly into the whole element of why do you do the business together in the first place?
It's for the good of your family.
It's for the good of your home. So every aim of working on business that has to do with you fulfilling your vision as a family can be properly harnessed when you're working together like that. You know, when you think about it, business working together is supposed to yield and grow to something beyond the two of you. You're literally building something that should be generational.
Yes.
That's why you have some of the richest families. Well, I don't want to talk about in Kenya, and this is a season of dynasties and what. But you're talking about, I mean, you think about the Rockefellers and all those, big names that you hear internationally, and you hear that they're in so many, they're so manyth generation.
You're able to build generational wealth.
But it's because someone has worked on generational wealth. So it is what it is. As you come together as a couple and you work together on your business, you sow towards something that your children will inherit from you.
And take advantage of. I also like the fact that our children can come to the office and get to see like how we work and all that. Because I mean, growing up, I never got one opportunity to go to my dad's office. Like how it doesn't even happen. Do you take children to your workplace?
It's very
when
difficult.
you're employed, I don't remember you ever having an opportunity to take your children to the office for them to see what you do, you know. But now when you run your own business, maybe on an off day, but not on a day where they can be able to see what you're doing. So as you're saying, building generational wealth and bringing your children, and they can learn from you. And by the way, it's not just our children, because our children are younger. We are able to also give that advantage to maybe some relatives who are in need of help, and they can come work in our office and just learn from us. It's so much easier for us to sow into the next generation.
Yes.
In our family, actually.
That's true. That's true. We've seen that.
I think for me, the next one has to do with shared goals, shared purpose, everything that you've shared together. You're able to build on that. Because one thing that you notice, and we can look back and see, couples can start their marriage being very together and being very united. But then if they are both working different career paths, this one is on this side, chasing their career on this side, and the other one is on the other side, chasing their career on that other side. Sometimes, if that is not handled properly, it can begin to take you guys in different directions, and that can cause a lot of strain in your marriage. Maybe one is traveling and going in the opposite direction, doing that. The other one is traveling in the opposite direction, and suddenly you guys are not together. That's when couples wake up and say, "Who are you? I don't know who I'm married to many years down the line." I like the fact that working together allows us to continue building our shared purpose, our shared goals, and refine that as we go along, refine that every single day and work together on it. Do you know how much joy you get from working on something? I mean, me who loves DIY, I feel so much joy when I create something with my hands. So here you are together, creating your wealth together, creating your generational wealth, bringing in your children to see what you're doing. So that shared goal and shared purpose is something that
very fulfilling,
very fulfilling, and very good at bringing, even uniting you together in your marriage.
That's true.
Yeah.
When you see the bottom line from probably very early on in the business and what it was, and when you look at the turnover that we were making at that time, and you can actually see the growth in inputs, the things that you have done together as a couple. You're able to see, during this year we started doing this together. This idea was dropped. God dropped this idea in our hearts, and we started working this angle.
Yeah.
And can you see at the end of that year where we were? You know, you're able to chart the journey,
the growth path. Yeah.
You're able to chart the way things have moved as you went along,
and that also helps you to plan the future.
It helps you to plan the future.
To look where you're going together as you're growing your company. So unity.
It does make a big difference.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you have learned something from this video. We've been talking to you about the whole thing about doing business together, what you should do, the things that you should make sure are in place as you're working together, as well as the advantages that we have seen working together for the last 7 years. And so thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you, David, for coming on set.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
I've enjoyed myself today.
All right. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. This is Irene and this is Heri Lifestyle. I'll see you in my next video. Kwaherini sana.
Bye.
Bye-bye.